Good afternoon. This is India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Anita Anand with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to deliver a virtual keynote address at the United Nations Economic and Social Council session tomorrow. Railways Minister Piyush Goyal says Indian Railways to be fully electrified in the next 3.5 years. The total number of people recovered from coronavirus crossed 6 lakh mark today. Recovery rate improves to 63.25%. Zydus Cadila begins human trial of his potential COVID-19 vaccine, Zycov-D. Bihar goes into a 15-day lockdown from today in view of spike in COVID-19 cases. And Assam Chief Minister Sarvanand Sonowal takes stock of Kaziranga National Park to assess the damages caused by floods. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will deliver a keynote address virtually at this year's high-level segment of the United Nations Economic and Social Council session tomorrow at the United Nations in New York. The Prime Minister will be speaking at the valedictory session along with the Prime Minister of Norway and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. The annual high-level segment convenes a diverse group of representatives from the government, the private sector, civil society and academia. The theme of this year's high-level segment is multilateralism after COVID-19. What kind of UN do we need at the 75th anniversary? Our correspondent reports this session will focus on critical forces shaping the course of multilateralism and explore ways to bolster the global agenda through strong leadership, effective international institutions, a broadening of participation, and enhanced significance of global public goods. This will be the first opportunity for Mr. Modi to address the broader UN membership since India's overwhelming election as a non-permanent member of the Security Council on 17 June for the term 2021-22. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India and the European Union are natural partners and their partnership is significant for peace and stability in the world. The Prime Minister was addressing the 15th meeting of the India-European Union Summit held in virtual mode yesterday.
एक एक्शन ओरिएंटेड एजेंडा बनाना चाहिए जिसे निर्धारित समय में कार्यान्वित किया जा सके। भारत और ईयू नेचुरल पार्टनर है। हमारी पार्टनरशिप विश्व में शांति और स्थिरता के लिए भी उपयोगी है। यह वास्तविकता आज की वैश्विक स्थिति में और भी स्पष्ट हो गई है। हम दोनों ही डेमोक्रेसी, प्लुरलिज्म, इंक्लूसिविटी, रिस्पेक्ट फॉर इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, मल्टीलेटरलिज्म, फ्रीडम, ट्रांसपेरेंसी जैसी यूनिवर्सल वैल्यूज शेयर करते हैं.
The Prime Minister said his government is committed to strengthen and deepen the relations between India and the European Union and highlighted the need to adopt a long-term strategic perspective for this.
कोविड-19 के कारण हमें मार्च में इंडिया ईयू समिट स्थगित करनी पड़ी थी. अच्छी बात है कि आज हम वर्चुअल माध्यम से मिल पा रहे हैं. सबसे पहले मैं यूरोपीय कोरोना वायरस के कारण हुई क्षति के लिए संवेदना प्रकट करता हूं. आपके शुरुआती रिमार्क्स के लिए मैं आप दोनों महाशयों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं. आपकी तरह मैं भी भारत और ईयू के संबंधों को और विस्तृत और गहरा बनाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हूं. इसके लिए हमें एक दीर्घकालीन स्ट्रेटेजिक पर्सपेक्टिव अपनाना चाहिए.
The Prime Minister said that in such a situation, India-EU partnership can play an important role in economic reconstruction and in building a human-centric and humanity-centric globalization.
कोविड-19 के बाद आर्थिक क्षेत्र में वैश्विक स्तर पर नई समस्याएं उत्पन्न हो गई. इसके लिए डेमोक्रेटिक राष्ट्रों के बीच अधिक सहयोग की आवश्यकता हम सब महसूस करते हैं. आज हमारे नागरिकों की सेहत और समृद्धि दोनों ही चुनौतियों का सामना कर रहे हैं. रूल्स बेस्ड इंटरनेशनल ऑर्डर पर विभिन्न प्रकार के दबाव है. ऐसे में भारत ईयू पार्टनरशिप आर्थिक पुनर्निर्माण में और एक मानव केंद्रित और मानवता केंद्रित ग्लोबलाइजेशन के निर्माण में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभा सकती है.
The Prime Minister said that apart from the current challenges, long-term challenges like climate change are also a priority for both India and the EU. The 15th meeting of the India-European Union Summit was co-chaired by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President of European Council Charles Michel, and President of the European Commission Ursula von der Leyen.
A joint statement of the summit said the leaders have decided to strengthen the India-EU strategic partnership based on shared principles and values of democracy, freedom, rule of law and respect for human rights, aiming at delivering concrete benefits for the people in India and the European Union. As the world's two largest democracies, India and the EU affirmed their determination to promote effective multilateralism and a rules-based multilateral order with the United Nations and the World Trade Organization at its core. The External Affairs Ministry has said that India-EU summit was held in a very cordial atmosphere marked by mutual respect and appreciation between the leaders, which has been a hallmark of past interactions between them. Briefing media last evening, Secretary West Vikas Swarup said the EU is one of the largest investors in India with cumulative investment of over $91 billion. Mr. Swarup added the leaders went into considerable detail in exchanging views on shared challenge of terrorism. He said Pakistan came up for discussion in the context of activities it has been continuing against India and other countries in the region as well as in context of global terrorism.
The rebel MLAs of the Congress have filed a petition in the Rajasthan High Court and challenged the notices issued by the Rajasthan Assembly. The court is likely to hear the petition this afternoon. The notices were issued to 19 Congress MLAs, including Sachin Pilot, by the Secretary of the Rajasthan Assembly, Pramil Kumar Mathur, after the party sought their disqualification from the State Assembly. Sacked Deputy Chief Minister Sachin Pilot and the other MLAs were asked to respond to the notices by Friday. The notices were issued on a petition filed by Chief Whip Mahesh Joshi. The MLAs had defied a whip and did not attend his Congress Legislature Party meeting held on Monday and Tuesday. Mr. Joshi wrote to the Speaker seeking proceedings against the rebel MLAs in accordance with the 10th schedule of the Constitution. Zydus Katla has started human trial of his potential COVID-19 vaccine, ZyCoV-D. The plasmid DNA vaccine, ZyCoV-D, designed and developed by Zydus and partially funded by the Department of Biotechnology, is the second potential vaccine candidate after Bharat Biotech's Covaxin, which got the approval for human clinical trial by the Central Drug Standard Control Organization. Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council has announced that ZyCoV-D has initiated Phase 1 and 2 clinical trials on healthy subjects. The adaptive Phase 1 and 2 dose escalation multicentric study will assess the safety, tolerability and immunogenicity of the vaccine. The human dosing of the vaccine marks a key milestone since the launching of the Accelerated Vaccine Development Program for COVID-19 in February 2020. The Secretary of Department of Biotechnology and Chairperson of BIRSC, Dr. Renu Swarup, said this is an important milestone for Atmanirbhar Bharat as Zydus begins human clinical trials for the indigenously developed vaccine. She hoped that the vaccine continues to show positive outcome as it has done so far in the preclinical phase where it was found to be safe, immunogenic and well tolerated. She termed this development a big leap forward for Indian scientific research. Dr. Swarup said this partnership with Zydus is to serve the country's need for a vaccine to fight the pandemic which has put billions of people at risk. Speaking on the development, Chairman of Zydus Cadila, Mr. Pankaj Patel, said that it is a very important step in a fight against this pandemic and will help the nation combat this healthcare challenge. He thanked government for the support in developing a safe and efficacious vaccine to prevent COVID-19. Our correspondent reports that the Zydus vaccine ZyCoV-D is developed indigenously at the company's Vaccine Technology Center in Ahmedabad after completing the preclinical phase. The vaccine was found to elicit a strong immune response in multiple animal species like mice, rats, guinea pigs and rabbits. The antibodies produced by the vaccine were able to completely neutralize the wild-type virus in virus neutralization assay, indicating the protective potential of the vaccine candidate. Health and Family Welfare Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said that the starting of the human clinical trial of potential COVID-19 vaccine, ZyCoV-D of Zydus Cadila, is an important milestone for Atmanirbhar Bharat. In a tweet today, expressed hope that the vaccine continues to show positive outcomes as it has done so far in the preclinical phase where it was found to be safe, immunogenic and well tolerated. He said the human dosing of the vaccine marks a key milestone since the launching of the Accelerated Vaccine Development Program for COVID-19 in February 2020.
The central government said the total number of recovered people from coronavirus crossed 6 lakh mark today. A total of 6,12,815 people have recovered so far. With this, the recovery rate reached to 63.25% in the country. In the past 24 hours, a record 20,783 people have recovered. Presently, the total number of active corona cases in the country is 3,31,146. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry said a total of 32,695 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported in the country in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 9,68,876. This is the highest number of cases registered in a single day since the outbreak of the pandemic in India. 606 deaths have been reported, taking the nationwide toll to 24,915. Our correspondent reports that in terms of recovery rate, the top 5 states and union territories are Ladakh, Delhi, Uttarakhand, Haryana and Andaman and Nicobar Islands, wherein the recovery rate is above 73%. In terms of number of people recovered from COVID-19, Maharashtra is leading the tally, followed by Tamil Nadu and Delhi. There are 20 states and union territories that have better recovery rates than the national average of 63.25%. In the total active cases, more than 65% cases are in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, Karnataka and Gujarat. Meanwhile, Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR said that a total of 3,26,682 tests of coronavirus samples are conducted by various laboratories within 24 hours. This is the highest number of tests conducted by the laboratories on a single day since the outbreak of COVID-19. So far, 1,27,39,490 tests have been conducted. At present, a total of 1,234 laboratories across India are conducting COVID-19 tests, including 874 government laboratories and 360 private laboratory chains. Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan today inaugurated the newly constructed Rajkumari Amrit Kaur OPD building at the premises of AIIMS, New Delhi. It is the first public sector hospital in the country. With this, entire building is dedicated to service and physiotherapy services for the elderly. The new OPD building has 18 departments, out of which 16 are clinical and 2 diagnostic departments. It has 270 counselling rooms as well as 50 treatment and procedure rooms and 13 minor operation theatres. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Vardhan said the country has performed well on every parameters that any other country in the world as far as fight against COVID-19 is concerned. He said the data related to COVID-19 is showing improvement and the recovery rate has now reached to 63.25% and the fatality rate is 2.57%. Minister of State for Health Ashwini Kumar Chaubey was also present.
In Tripura, one more patient succumbed to COVID-19 in Agartala yesterday. With this, the death toll has risen to 3 in the state. Meanwhile, 98 persons have been tested positive in the last 24 hours. So far, the state has registered 2,213 COVID-positive cases, and out of which 1,602 COVID patients have recovered, while the state's total active cases stand at 669. The positivity rate has gone up to 2.42%, while recovery rate is 73.82% and mortality rate is 0.09%. The state government has decided to conduct at least 7,000 COVID-19 tests on daily basis to avert community transmission, and more manpower has been engaged for capacity building. In Bihar, a complete lockdown has begun today for 16 days in the entire state to contain the spread of COVID-19. It will be effective till 31st of July. The decision has been taken due to an alarming spike in the number of COVID-19 cases in the state during the last 3 weeks. Except essential services, all government offices, public corporations and educational institutions will remain closed. Private and commercial establishments are also closed. However, ration shops, dairy, vegetable and meat shops have been exempted from lockdown. All places of worship are closed and religious gatherings is not permitted. All kinds of e-commerce activities and home delivery are allowed. Public transport services is also allowed in the lockdown period. However, private vehicles are limited to essential works only. Train and flight services and all constructed related activities are allowed, along with functioning of construction-related shops. Similarly, agriculture-related activities are also allowed. Meanwhile, 1,320 new COVID-19 cases were reported during the last 24 hours. The total number of affected people in the state has reached 20,173, while 13,533 people have recovered so far. 69 security officials of Raj Bhavan and Patna High Court also tested positive. The recovery rate in Bihar stands at over 67%. In all, 174 people have died due to coronavirus in the state so far.
And now, before we move on, here are the headlines once again. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi to deliver a virtual keynote address at United Nations Economic and Social Council session tomorrow. Railways Minister Piyush Goyal says Indian Railways to be fully electrified in the next 3.5 years. The total number of people recovered from coronavirus crossed 6 lakh mark today. Recovery rate improves to 63.25%. Zydus Katla began human trials of its potential COVID-19 vaccine, Zycov-D. Bihar goes into a 15-day lockdown from today in view of the spike in COVID-19 cases. Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal takes stock of Kaziranga National Park to assess the damages caused by the floods. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on Air app.
A total of 1,647 fresh cases of COVID-19 recorded in Delhi yesterday, taking the infection tally in the city to 1,16,993. 41 deaths were reported in the national capital in the last 24 hours, while 2,463 people have recovered. The number of active cases stands at 17,807, while 95,699 patients have recovered so far. In Maharashtra, cases of COVID-19 is raging in Nasik district as well. However, to curb the further spread of the disease, the government has initiated a measure, healthcare service at a doorstep. As many as 556 squads have been formed and they have been tasked to trace the COVID-positive patient. More in this report from our Mumbai correspondent.
In the revised testing policy, the State Health Department has also allowed testing of frontline health workers, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, laboratory technicians and other health officials without any recommendation. It has also permitted cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy or radiation therapy to take COVID-19 tests without the approval of authorities. The notification says any asymptomatic patient who wish to get tested for COVID-19 needs to seek approval from Chief District Health Officer or Medical Officer. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
The efforts are on in Bengaluru to increase the number of beds to keep asymptomatic and mildly symptomatic patients to meet the growing demand. Deputy Chief Minister Dr. C.N. Ashwath Narayan visited the Northeast Students' Hostel in Bengaluru University today. The Health Department is setting up 510-bed COVID care center in the hostel for keeping the asymptomatic COVID patients. In Gujarat, the state government yesterday revised the testing policy for COVID-19. According to the new policy, COVID tests can be done on the prescription of an MBBS doctor. The earlier policy permitted COVID tests only on the recommendation of an MD. Our correspondent reports that Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel announced this during a press conference at Gandhinagar. The decision will benefit the people living in rural areas where MBBS doctors are large in numbers compared to MD doctors. A report.
In the revised testing policy, the State Health Department has also allowed testing of frontline health workers, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, laboratory technicians and other health officials without any recommendation. It has also permitted cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy or radiation therapy to take COVID-19 tests without the approval of authorities. The notification says any asymptomatic patient who wish to get tested for COVID-19 needs to seek approval from Chief District Health Officer or Medical Officer. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Puducherry Health Department today said 147 persons were tested positive for the coronavirus disease and one died, leaving 774 active cases. 128 new cases were reported in Puducherry region, 12 in Karaikal and 7 in Yanam. 58 persons were treated and discharged in the last 24 hours, while a child died at the Rajiv Gandhi Women and Child Hospital. So far, 1,743 persons were infected by the virus, of which 947 were discharged and 22 died, leaving 774 active cases in hospitals.
In our series, Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Director at AIIMS in Delhi, Dr. Randeep Guleria advised people to aggressively follow the social distancing and hand hygiene norms to check the spread of COVID-19 infection.
Regular hand washing should be done. So those who in an area where there is coronavirus infection should wash their hands regularly. You should avoid going to crowded places because if someone in the crowd is coughing and has the infection, he can spread to others in the crowded places. And if any member in your family has fever, cough, cold, he should stay at home and avoid going out so that he doesn't spread the infection to other people in the community.
Dr. Rakesh Garg of AIIMS in Delhi said that the spread of COVID-19 infection takes place through a person having a travel history as well as from those who have come in contact of the infected person.
सबसे ज्यादा मायने वाली चीज ये रखती है कि हम कोविड-19 की सस्पिशन उस पर ज्यादा डिपेंड करेंगे अगर उसकी कुछ ऐसी जगह से ट्रेवल की हिस्ट्री है जहां पर पॉजिटिव केसेस थे, एंडेमिक एरिया था, या फिर उनका ऐसे कांटेक्ट हुआ किसी पेशेंट से जो ऑलरेडी पॉजिटिव था, ये सस्पेक्ट था, या फिर ऐसे पेशेंट की जो देखभाल कर रहा है जो कि पॉजिटिव है, ये सस्पेक्ट है। तो अगर ये हिस्ट्री पॉजिटिव है और साथ में सिम्टम्स भी हैं तो उसमें चांसेस कोविड-19 के होने के रहते हैं।
Railways Minister Piyush Goyal today said that Indian Railways will be fully electrified in the next 3.5 years, and by 2030 every Indian will be a proud citizen owning the world's first large clean railways. Mr. Piyush Goyal today addressed through video conferencing an event organized by CII towards a self-reliant India renewable energy manufacturing. He said the government is promoting Make in India for renewable energy and is fully committed to making the industry Atmanirbhar. Mr. Goyal said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has promoted the concept of one sun, one world, one grid, and India is leading the international renewable community. He added that renewable energy is the way forward, and along with environmental benefits, renewable energy is good for the nation economically.
In Maharashtra, cases of COVID-19 is raging in Nasik district as well. However, to curb the further spread of the disease, the government has initiated a measure, healthcare service at your doorstep. A report.
The initiative taken by the state's Public Health Department and District Administration to deploy 556 squads in predominantly tribal villages of Nasik is yielding positive results in containing the spread of COVID-19. The squads have been tasked to visit the residence of suspected COVID-positive patients in various parts of the district, namely Trambakeshwar, Igatpuri, Kalwan, Pet and others. Nasik, which has 15 talukas, has been affected due to the virus which has wreaked havoc in other parts of the state as well. There are around 2,279 active cases in the district as of today. Healthcare service at your doorstep is a unique concept as it comprises of medical officer, health worker, ASHA worker and a social activist who visit patients directly at their residence. The squad also conduct checkups not only on the suspected COVID patient but also of senior citizens and those who are suffering from other ailments. The visit of the squads have helped in saving several lives due to timely treatment to the patients who are otherwise not able to visit hospital due to the fear of getting infected with coronavirus. Besides, it has also proven effective in bringing down the mortality rate among the COVID positive patients. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Defence Minister Raj Nath Singh will undertake 2 days visit to forward areas of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh starting tomorrow. Army Chief General M.M. Narvane will accompany him. During this visit, they will review the security situation in eastern Ladakh. Our correspondent, quoting official sources, reports that senior defence officials, including the Northern Army Commander, will also accompany Mr. Singh. This will be Defence Minister's first visit to Ladakh since the face-off with China commenced.
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Dr. K. Srinath Reddy, President Public Health Foundation of India, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions from the experts on toll-free telephone number 1-800-11-5767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-233-14444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates. In Tamil Nadu, girls have outshined boys in the Plus 2 public examinations. The results for the Plus 2 state board exams were declared today. 94.8% of the girls and 89.41% of the boys have cleared the examinations. Out of the 7,127 high secondary schools in the state, 2,120 have achieved centum in the pass percentage. Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad today said e-filing of cases in the Supreme Court has made it easy to file cases. In a tweet, he said 640 advocates on record have registered for e-filing cases in the Apex Court during the lockdown period. Mr. Prasad said this is a move towards digitization of judicial process.
Heavy rains continue to lash Mumbai and suburbs since last night, with some areas receiving extremely heavy showers. According to the India Meteorological Department IMD, areas like Bandra, Mahalakshmi in the city received 201 millimeters and 129 millimeter rainfall respectively between 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday and 6:30 a.m. this morning. It added that the Santa Cruz Weather Bureau, representative of Mumbai suburbs, reported 191.2 millimeter rainfall during the 24-hour period ending at 8:30 a.m. on today, while the Kolaba weather station in South Mumbai recorded 156.4 millimeter rainfall in the same time span. Other parts of the state also received heavy rains. In Assam, Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal visited the Kaziranga National Park today to take stock of the highland areas at Bagori Range. About 90% of the park is underwater. The Chief Minister also met flood-affected people at a relief camp. Later, he visited the Animal Rescue Centre at the park. Meanwhile, the flood situation has improved at some places. 2 persons lost their lives today as the death toll has gone up to 68. Over 3,000 villages are still reeling under the fury of floods, and homes of 36 lakh people are submerged in the current wave of floods in 26 districts. Floodwater also caused damage to rural roads, embankments, bridges and crop areas. Around 36,000 flood-hit people are taking shelter at temporary relief camps.
Now let's take a look at the weather for today. The national capital, Delhi, may witness generally cloudy sky with light rains. The minimum temperature was recorded at 28 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 37 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rains. The city witnessed a minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius will have a maximum of around 26 degrees. In Chennai, the temperature will hover between 25 and 33 degrees Celsius. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rains or thunder showers with a minimum temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. The maximum temperature will be nearly 34 degrees. In Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 36 degrees. The city is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, the temperature will hover between 19 and 33 degrees Celsius. The city is expected to witness partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was recorded at 19 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. It is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad may also see partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The place witnessed a minimum temperature of 21 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature will be around 39 degrees. Chandigarh will see a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rains or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was recorded at 29 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature will be around 35 degrees. Bengaluru is expected to have temperatures between 21 and 26 degrees Celsius. Generally cloudy sky with moderate rains expected in the city. Ahmedabad will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Minimum temperature in the city was 26 degrees, while maximum is expected to be 35 degrees. Bhopal will witness generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. In Patna, the temperature will fluctuate between 27 and 34 degrees Celsius.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to deliver a virtual keynote address at United Nations Economic and Social Council session tomorrow. Railways Minister Piyush Goyal says Indian Railways to be fully electrified in the next 3.5 years. The total number of people recovered from coronavirus crossed 6 lakh mark today. Recovery rate improves to 63.25%. Zydus Cadila begins human trial of his potential COVID-19 vaccine, Zycov-D. Bihar goes into a 15-day lockdown from today in view of spike in COVID-19 cases. And Assam Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal takes stock of the Kaziranga National Park to assess the damages caused by floods. And with that, we end the midday news.